In this video, we'll take a look at events and React's synthetic event system. We'll learn to handle events using event listeners and handler functions. Let's begin. As users, we interact with computer software in a number of ways. From mouse and button clicks, filling up forms, selecting elements from lists, using sliders, and various mouse-based activities such as scrolling, dragging, and dropping elements, interaction and user experience design are essential ingredients when building great applications. Consequently, handling these interaction events is part of developing an application. JavaScript as a language implements an event-driven model that can be seen in both browsers as well as other implementations such as Node.js. In the browser, events are actions that are fired when something happens, such as when a user clicks on a button or types in an input field or scrolls the page. These events are intercepted using event listeners, which can then invoke an event handler, which is simply a function that you want to run when the event occurs. In plain vanilla JavaScript, events are intercepted using the addEventListener function, such as the one you see here. This one is configured to intercept a mouse click on a button. This one intercepts and runs the event handler function whenever the user presses and releases a key on the keyboard. Events also provide us with valuable data regarding the event in the handler function. In the example here, we get the key code value for the button that has been pressed and released. By specifically looking for key code 13, which is the code for the enter key, we can perform a task such as submitting a message that the user has typed specifically when he presses the enter key on the keyboard. In this example, we can access the text that the user has typed in the input field by using event.target.value. Besides JavaScript, HTML2 provides us with a basic system for intercepting events. The name of the event is an attribute which is set to a string, which could either be a JavaScript expression or the name of a JavaScript function. Here we are running an event handler function for the keyUp event, which gets the event object and uses that to verify if the user has pressed the enter key or not. The upshot of understanding inline event handlers in HTML is that JSX in React uses a similar syntax for adding event listeners. The core difference is the use of camel case as shown here. We have already been using the onClick event in our example, so this should be familiar by now. Now, browsers may have differences when it comes to their native event handling mechanisms. Fortunately for us, React implements a synthetic event mechanism, which is an abstraction layer on the browser's native event system. This means that when an event, such as a mouse click, occurs, the event handlers are provided with instances of synthetic event. In fact, the synthetic event interface is similar to a browser's native event interface. This means your event handler functions get access to event objects and properties such as event.target, event.stopPropagation, and preventDefault, among other things. To the developer, this means that you get to use a common and consistent API for managing events irrespective of the underlying browser. Under the hood, React manages browser-specific intricacies seamlessly. This ensures your app performs uniformly across all kinds of browsers. The synthetic event system offers a comprehensive API that covers most use cases. Here are all the categories of events that you're allowed to work directly in React. For instance, when working with form fields such as input boxes, drop-down menus, text areas, and others, the onChange event handles most scenarios, providing a simple way to access user input. Similarly, you get a wide array of events for the mouse, such as onClick, onDoubleClick, onDrag, and more. You also get events for touch-based input as well, among other things. This also means that this abstraction layer is a React-specific API that mimics a browser's native API, and while it does offer access to most events, there are some cases where you may need to reach out to a browser's native event system. In such cases, React offers you direct access to a browser's native event system. Let's look at an example of using native events in a React component. As always, begin by downloading the project archive and set it up as you've done in previous videos. Here I have my development server up and running for this example. Our app component is a function component that renders the UI that you see on the right. We have this div with the class name canvas and a set of x and y coordinates that are displayed at the top. We also have this red colored dot here. What I want to be able to do is display coordinates for the mouse pointer as it hovers above the canvas. These coordinates should be relative to the canvas only. Additionally, upon clicking, a red dot should be created at the spot. Since I'm using a function here, I'll use the hooks API to incorporate local state properties. I'll thus create my first state property to store the x position of the mouse pointer. Likewise, we'll also store the y position of the mouse's movement on the canvas div. To update these positions, we'll be able to use the setXPos and setYPos methods which we have declared using the useState feature. I'll now create an event handler function for the onMouseMove event that we'll incorporate on the canvas div. This function will receive properties in the event object. We'll then bind the onMouseMove event to the onMouseMove handler function like so. Inside the event handler function, we can now use setXPos and set it to event.nativeEvent.offsetX property. What we're doing here is accessing the offsetX property through the browser's native event API. React allows you to access native events directly using this notation. The offsetX property provides the x coordinates of the mouse pointer relative to the canvas div in this case. Similarly, we'll access and store the y coordinate as well in our local state. We can then easily display these two values like so. Now, when you move the mouse over this canvas, you can see the coordinates on the UI. For the second part of this example, I need to create instances of a div with the class name dot within the canvas div. This renders a red colored dot on the UI. So first up, we'll create a state property named marker, which will be an array. Next, I'll create and bind an event handler function for the onClick event on the canvas div. What we'll do here is use the setMarker function to update the state with an array which includes all existing marker instances, and we'll add a new marker instance in the form of an object where we'll have an ID and the x and y coordinates. We can then simply loop over this array using the map method and create instances of our div where we are dynamically setting the left and top CSS properties to the x and y coordinates that we have stored in the marker array. Make sure you also set the key property to the value of the ID property from the marker object like so. If you now click on the canvas, you will create instances of the red colored dot. Now, since this dot has a dimension of 10 by 10 pixels, I'll subtract 5 pixels in the x and y axes so that this div is positioned in the center of the spot where we click. Lastly, we also have a clear button which will simply reset the marker array, thereby removing all markers. As you saw in this video, working with events is really easy in React. React's synthetic event is part of an event system that normalizes browser-specific event APIs and enables us to write apps that work seamlessly across all flavors of browsers. This is not only efficient, but it saves you a ton of headache as well. And for special cases where you must play with the browser's native system, React provides you with easy and simple access, as we saw in the example. Now, Let's take a look at managing errors in a React component in the next video.